Okay, ladies and gentlemen, should you get the Seiko SBDX047 or should you get the Seiko SLA023? This is a question presented by a viewer. He's struggling. He is struggling. He doesn't know which one to get. And he's come to me for advice. Lord have mercy. He's come to me for advice. Well, all I can do is break it down. All I can do is break this down for you. Okay, first of all, these are both high-end divers. They're very high-end, and they're really similarly priced. I think there's about $100 difference between them. The SLA023 here is about $100 more. It's about $100 more. So price-wise, they're pretty much the same. They both have the same movement. The 8L35 based on the Grand Seiko, very accurate. I could run these things for 3 days straight, and they wouldn't lose. It would be 8:35 when I set it. 3 days later, it'd be 8:35. I'd look at my phone. It doesn't lose anything. And definitely an upgrade from other Seiko movements I've had. The 6R35 and all that. Then, both of these are beautiful works of art. Neither is lacking in beauty. They're absolutely gorgeous. One thing I do want to say, speaking of the beauty of the SLA300, you're getting a bezel made out of. Ooh, wait! I see a little dust. I don't like dust on it. You're seeing a bezel. It's not aluminum. It's not steel. It's ceramic, and you'll get that on like your high-end Omega Planet Ocean, a watch that I like rather a lot. This is a steel bezel. Having said that, they're both beautiful works of art. Let's look at the SLA300. Let's look at some of the things you would be looking for if you get this watch. Okay, first of all, you're going to get much more amazing lume. The lume is going to be way better on the SLA023. It doesn't mean that the 44 Willard is bad in lume. It's just that this is ridiculous. I mean, even the lume on the bezel shines at night with great drama, I must say. You're getting a lot of drama in the way that it shines on light. So, bling. Oh, if you're in a stage in your life where you want to be the biggest silverback in the jungle, you want those giant pectoral plates to beat on with your fists, just in terms of sheer muscular bulk, the MM300 fills the bill. Now, there was a time in my life, when wearing an oversized muscle watch was my thing. And, we can psychoanalyze ourselves all day long about performative silverback posturing, but probably goes back to our caveman days. If you really prefer the bling, you're going to get more of that with the much thicker MM300. And that brings us to the thickness of the case. You're getting a much thicker case with the MM300. And that thickness translates into looking more aggressive. And if you prefer a more aggressive style, then you may gravitate toward the MM300. The other thing, of course, is you're getting a very beautiful blue dial and blue bezel. And if this is going to be an everyday watch, you have to ask yourself, do you want to wear blue every day? And of course, there is a black one available. Okay, weight on the wrist. For me, the MM300 is very comfortable, but after 8 hours, I do experience wrist fatigue. Who talks about wrist fatigue? Watch nerds. Yeah, that's who talks about it. Another thing I'll tell you is that the MM300, it's easier to grab the crown and wind it up. It's a little tougher to get to it on the 44 Willard. I would also say this probably is going to have better resale value. And the eighth thing I would say, this is more of a sporty watch, less dressy. It's going to be less versatile than the 44 Willard. I don't see this thick, aggressive watch as being able to double as a dress watch, but more of a sporty situation. All right, let's look at the 44 Willard. The 44 Willard. This It's more of a subtle watch. It's less bling, it's less aggressive in style, it's much more subtle. And you may be at a stage in your life where you like that. If you want a watch that is more versatile in terms of being both sporty and dressy, the subtle soft features make it less bling and make it more stealth, but it maintains enough wrist presence that I think you can wear this for sportiness and dressiness. And so I think it has that advantage of being more versatile. Man, it's funny, as I look at these, I go, wow, these are both beautiful. I don't want to choose one over the other. It's disgusting, man. Come on, don't make me do that. The other thing is you got a black bezel and a charcoal dial. This might be better everyday color for you. Wardrobes, you might suffer from blue fatigue from wearing a blue watch every day. You don't want to suffer from blue dial fatigue. Oh my God, blue dial fatigue, wrist fatigue. What's all this fatigue? Is there fatigue in your life? Didn't you have your coffee this morning, McMahon? There's fatigue. All right. So comfort. This is a more comfortable watch. It sits on the wrist more comfortably. It's easily more comfortable. So if comfort is huge and you want that nice subtle styling, you're going to get it with this. The MM300s, in terms of styling, some of you might say, it's kind of your standard Seiko cliche. I want something different. I want something more distinctive in styling. I want that little something different. Well, then you probably gravitate toward the 44 Willard. It's definitely a different style. It's got more of a this goes all the way back to about 1970. All the way back, the styling goes way back, maybe 1980. So, gosh, man, don't ask. Look at me, I got both watches though. So why would you ask me if I was only going to get one? I ended up getting both. I mean, think about that. If I have both, if I wasn't able to pare it down to one, then in all honesty, I have no credibility in answering this question. I don't have any credibility. It's like you're coming up to me while I'm chowing down brisket at a Texas barbecue and you're asking me how to fine-tune your vegan diet. Hey man, pass me the hot sauce. Come on. So I wouldn't be able to choose one over the other. They're so different in their own way. I mean, geez, just in terms of comfort and not wanting to worry about the bling, every day. If it's just every day, probably this. But I couldn't. Come on, man. I couldn't. What? What are you going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, which one would you take? Let me know what you think. Until next time, I'm out.